right, I have the signal, so I will call to order this meeting of the Whitestown Fire Board for December 3rd, 2025. It is just after 6:07 p.m. Roll call, please, Chief.
Mike Hancock.
Here.
Jim Baldwin.
Present.
Eric Nichols.
Here.
Dan Patterson.
Here.
Michelle O'Connor.
Here.
Casey Copeland.
All right, seeing a quorum, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you all. Item 2, approval of the agenda. Any proposed changes or questions on the agenda? And if not, I'd hear a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda as submitted.
Second.
Motion made to approve the agenda and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Carries 5-0. Item 3, approval of the minutes. We circulated the November meeting minutes. Any comments, changes, questions on the November minutes? Hearing none, I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Carries 5-0. Item 4, public request to speak. We do not have any in person here. Anybody online? All right. Seeing none, carries us to item 5, presentations. We have none. So item 6, stats and updates, Chief.
All right, so for the month of November for Pub Ed and PR, we attended Tractor Supply Hometown Heroes event, Culver's Kids Night, a day of thanks put on by the Boys and Girls Club, and a homeschool group did a station tour of 272s. We had annual station generator service and battery replacement done at both stations, and we started our lieutenant promotional process testing that we do every 2 years to keep that list up to date. We started that this month. Inspection and prevention, 2 annual inspections as we're wrapping up the year, 22 other inspections, 21 alarm and sprinkler systems tests, and for a total of 45 inspections for the year, or for the month, sorry, and 1,261 for the year. 480 hours of fire training, focusing on ISO standards compliance. So getting a lot of work in at the training tower lately to ensure we're getting all our yearly requirements from ISO, our facility training hours. Working on a large-scale electrification training in December, just so all the crews can go out there and work together. And then working on specialized training initiatives for providing department-wide hybrid electric vehicle safety training and active assailant response training as well. So those are in the mix and upcoming. As far as EMS training, we had a total of 142 hours for the month. EMS runs, we had 61 patient contacts, 58 transports, and you can see the breakdown there, the different types of transports, for a total of 77,275 billed services. No translation for the month of November. I'm not sure if that's 100% correct. Audit and review we hosted. We applied for our official DEA license that we've been working on for several years now, kind of preparing for the day that we can no longer get our narcotics and such from the hospitals. So we're at a point where we've kind of passed everything and working on that final step of the license as far as our setup goes, so that when that day comes, we'll be able to purchase our own narcotics if we need to. EMS billing, $30,104.14 for the month of November, bringing our year-to-date up to over $451,000, which is an 11% increase of where we were at this time last year. 30,000 is quite the dip compared to what we have been getting, but a lot of that was due to the billing factors with the government shutdown and Medicare, Medicaid. So I assume that all that will resume within the coming months and kind of balance itself out, but that's why it's a little bit shorter than we expect to see. As far as our runs for the month, we had 172 runs, bringing our total to 1,816 for the year. And then all the different typical breakdowns we provide and the maps. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I just had a couple on stuff that you already touched on, just for informational sake. So do we have any timeline on when that move is going from not getting narcs from the hospital anymore?
We do not have any timeline.
Okay, all right. And for the lieutenant promotional process, sorry if I missed it, looking for what, one now?
As far as availability of spots,
Yeah.
no, we just do a list every 2 years.
Okay.
And
So
just
no
keep that
spots.
list up to date, yeah. And then that way, if we have a spot come available, we utilize that list.
Okay.
Looks like we had a pretty sizable increase in our Narcan usage this year from last year.
Yeah, and some of that could be to the stats that they have changed to. Remember, I explained how ESO changed our reporting software changed how they run the reports.
Okay.
That could be due to number of doses, so it may not reflect actual patients rather than doses given.
Gotcha.
So just an ask for the January stats, and I don't think we need this monthly, just a year inventory. We've got our year-to-date aid given. Is there a way to pull aid received by department as well, or is that going to be exceptionally complicated to do?
I'm going to answer that we can do that. This guy sitting behind me may think something different when I ask him to get it for me, but I believe it should be just as simple as the aid given, that we could get an aid received.
Just kind of curious, as we're counting aid given after at the end of a year, cycle that with how much did we receive in addition to what we gave? I don't know that I expect to do a whole lot with that beyond informational, but if there's a big skew, we might have to at least look at ideas. Or not. All right. Any further questions, comments? Anybody need more time to review? All right. Hearing none. Moving to item 7, unfinished business, which we have none. Item 8E, consideration of purchase exceeding $25,000 for ladder 271 apparatus replacement.
Okay, so it's been no secret that we are in need of a fire apparatus to replace current ladder 271. We were finally able to find a truck with a whole lot less than a 3+ year time frame on a build. So the ladder we're proposing in front of you tonight is looking for a favorable recommendation to council, at least, for a 107-foot aerial quint from Pierce. With a sales price of $2,018,800, with a delivery time of 15 to 18 months from the acceptance of the contract. And this would replace ladder 271. We have a going to be proposing a special purchase determination to the council as well, to be able to utilize this as a significant savings to the town, not only the speed of delivery, but the fact that it is on a special purchasing consortium from Sourcewell. We're looking to fund the project through surplus lit funds that we have in that revenue.
If this purchase is approved, which unit do you figure would go into the reserve status?
Probably, we would maintain our 2015 reserve into that reserve status. And then next year, we need to look at proposing to replace the 2019, our newest ladder at 272s, to get into that 3+ year time frame for when it's due to go into reserve status and keep the replacement cycle.
And could you refresh my memory on which one is currently at getting the work done? Isn't there one that's currently at?
So there are 2 currently getting work done. The 2019 is getting work done, and we think they found a determination on where the antifreeze leak is going with that. Still not 100% sure where that's going to land, but right now it does not look cheap to fix. Our reserve ladder, which has been utilized a lot lately as well, is currently getting its head gasket replaced and should be back in service tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you, Chief.
Chief, which one is the primary, which one is the reserve? I know we've got a tandem axle and then we've got a single axle.
So both our tandem axles are our primaries currently,
Okay.
but that'll change when this is a single axle that we're proposing.
What did we buy our last ladder for? $2 million seems like a
1.2.
very fair price for 2025.
1.2 was our last purchase in 2019.
2019. Take it back then, maybe 2 million is still pricey these days, but I have heard worse numbers tossed about. That's why it sounded not bad. Anything spec-wise special about this we should know about, or just kind of the standard go here?
Yeah, it's
Maps kind of look, or the
yeah, pretty much a standard Clint.
standard, kind of the standard with a 500 tank. Roll-up doors. Can't hit roll-up doors on the garage door. From a guy with experience around his department having done that. Any additional questions, comments, thoughts?
So Chief, you said you was planning on using excess lit funds for this?
Correct.
So would that be just a straight out purchase, or would it be another lease, or?
That is what I'm proposing, is a straight out purchase, not a lease.
Okay.
Yeah, so without digging too far in and messing myself up here, ultimately there's a supplemental lit piece every year, and we have found that there is a fair amount of money in that fund currently. Certainly not all to be expensed by fire, right? But there is a fair amount of funding in there to use for capital purchases rather than paying leases. So trying to use some of that taxpayer money here and save taxpayers paying additional on interest and lease payments. Any other discussion?
So just real quick, from my understanding, this is being proposed as a special purchase under an Indiana code, and that code says it's, things can be purchased under this code at substantial savings to the town. We're still talking $2 million, so the IC code doesn't define substantial. Is it because the price is lower than what we could get it somewhere else, or because we're using the excess lit to save taxpayer dollars?
It's because of through the purchasing cooperative, which leverages that low bid price that's used nationwide.
Okay.
That's why it's $2 million. Any other questions, thoughts, comments? If none, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a positive recommendation for the purchase exceeding 25,000, not to exceed $2,018,800 for the McQueen purchase on the 271.
And I will second. So we have a motion on the table to give a favorable recommendation to council for the purchase of a ladder 271 replacement as put forward in the proposal before us. Any other questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Carries 5-0. If this one has coolant disappear, I'm going to be mad. Item F, consideration of purchase exceeding 25,000, not to exceed 77,000, Station 271 kitchen day room improvements.
Okay, so we talked about this earlier this year and the fact that Station 271 needs some Band-Aid renovations for the living portion of the firehouse of 271s. And we are deciding to go ahead with this for a couple different reasons. One, we wanted to wait till the end of this year to make sure that we didn't need our capital revenue for something else, something that might supersede this project. So we're looking to encumber the funds from our capital line that we have currently out of this budget to finance this project. And this project is replacing the flooring in the kitchen and day room, men's and women's bathroom, and the hallways. Window replacement, the vestibule kind of lobby area removal to open up some room in the day room there. New kitchen cabinets, stove, dishwasher, sink, microwave, some new LED lighting, and then new paint throughout those areas. We solicited 4 different companies for bids. 3 responded. Project 1500 was the low bid. Initially at $64,094.80. The updated quote I did receive this morning, and I believe it's put in your packet as well. There was a $3,672 increase for material increases since these quotes were given in May, but it still makes it the lowest bid at $67,766.80. So this is what we are proposing to put us on a fix for a short time period, if you will, for 271s. Even if we were to start building a station today, we're still 2 years out from that, and I feel that we need to make sure we at least keep up the living side uses of 271s to an acceptable level for the personnel working there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, there's no decision made to move anything, do anything. This thing could be there for a little while. And
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying there's no decision made for anything. I'm not going to let a building rot when we may not move it. We could do any of a number of things. And even if there happens to be a move next year on a decision to move the station, we're still going to need the building for things.
The not to exceed is listed as 77, and this quote comes in just under 68. Are you just building cushion in case of overages?
So that was put in before we knew what the overages were. And also that was the amount we have in our capital line to encumber as well. So when I had to give those numbers to the clerk's office to be able to prepare that for council meeting, 77,000 was the number. I did update the council agenda items today to the latest, greatest total. So that amount could be this precise amount from the quote if you so choose to give that recommendation.
Do you anticipate need for overage, or is it built in here?
I don't anticipate any need for them. With the increase that we had from May till now, I think even if we had something that could be absorbed by our operating budget of next year. But I think this is a pretty solid quote, you know, from today to get it done.
Chief, I saw in the quote for the project 1,500 that it does require 50% down payment.
I did read that on the back. I would have to confirm with Project 1500 to make sure that if that needs to be proposed at the council meeting or not.
Yeah, it's fine.
As far as their approval.
We just need to do a separate vote for that.
Okay.
I just want to make sure to draw the attention to that to make sure we had our I's dotted.
So I missed a bit of that with the HVAC running up there. Any favorable recommendation would be the amount plus in the 50%? Or what's the?
So that's a great question, only because it's a recommendation here, but it wouldn't hurt to do it that way.
Okay.
Whether or not to do a recommendation to approve the 50% down and a recommendation to approve the amount.
Okay. Just in case.
Want to make it as streamlined and easy as possible.
That way this board is recommending the same thing council would be approving.
Any questions, comments, further discussion?
So I just have one. These quotes are for rehabbing basically the kitchen area. One of the previous discussions I had with a member of the department centered around firefighter safety and being able to separate the firefighters from their gear that might have toxins on them, stuff like that, cancer stuff. Has that issue been resolved? Is there some movement towards resolving the issues with the cancer stuff that would put kitchen as a priority over that?
So what we have currently in the Bay Area, we do have exhaust systems within the apparatus as well. The only thing we're truly missing would be a double door breezeway that I'm not sure if there's room to make happen within there. This was done through the station officers and the chief of administration as far as what was to be on this proposal. And this is what I got in front of me. I think the ultimate fix comes within whether it's a relocation or a renovation of Station 271 that will completely fix the rest of those problems within that, you know, where we'd be able to have a separate room for the gear to have 24/7 exhaust going within that. We just don't have that space now and the layout for that to accomplish those things. So we do have as much as possible at our disposal right now of what we have, but obviously looking to propose more permanent changes as we go on with the station talks we've had.
Thank you, Chief.
So you're saying you'd have to push footprint to put that stuff in? That's
Yeah,
what
we just don't have the bay space to put a separate room for that stuff in. That is something we can look at with that double door. And I'd be happy to go back to the officers and talk with that, but I think that's something, again, that we could do separately as another project if that's something they feel that we should add and that we can add.
Yeah, I was just clarifying that I thought that's what I was hearing from you, is we'd have to push footprint to make space to do that.
Any other questions, discussion, comments? none, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion for a positive recommendation for the purchase exceeding 25,000 for Station 271 kitchen day room improvement not to exceed 77,000 or as modified, including the 50% down possible payment.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Carries 5-0. Takes us to other business, lateral hiring process.
So I just wanted to mention to the board tonight that we are strongly considering doing a lateral hiring process to kind of see what kind of list we can create for the one vacancy we do have still within our company level. This process would not cost the department anything. A lateral process we do all in-house, and we do not sub that out. So I just want to let you know that's a possibility that we may be putting that out and advertising for that shortly. We're heavily leaning towards that. So.
Any questions, comments? Seeing none, item H, 2026 Fire Board meeting calendar. Sounds rather self-explanatory. But calendar is before us. Taking a look right now. We don't have July 4th on it this time. That's the first one I look for now. They bagged us, 2 years ago or last year?
I noticed
I
January.
mean,
is
there's April
listed as,
Fool's Day, so that'll be a hoot of a meeting.
January is listed as TBD. Normally, council would go prior, and then I would imagine we just flip-flop. So tentatively put Fire Board for the second Wednesday rather than the first Wednesday.
Which would be,
And typically, a lot of times too, we don't even have a fire board meeting just kind of due to lack of agenda, and things can wait until February with the pushing back like that. So, I mean, obviously, your guys' call, but we can plan for that typical as well if you'd like.
If we don't need one, that's fine, but tentatively, if we do, it'd be the 14th, based on whatever changes may come up between now and then, unless anyone has any major.
I don't at this time, so.
Because in January, all the township meetings have to be on a Tuesday, so. We're good there.
So Wednesday's clear.
It would be easier to list a date since you're approving all these dates now. That way we wouldn't have to worry about reapproving that date and or putting a different notice out.
I'd suggest we pencil in.
You can always
Yeah,
cancel.
we can always cancel. I suggest we go ahead and pencil in the 14th then, and
Any objections to the 14th? I'm not hearing any. Township's free, you good? All right, so we will then pencil in January 14th and cancel if we have no agenda. With that change then, I make a motion to adopt the 2026 Fire Board meeting calendar as amended.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Carries 5-0. We have a calendar. Any other business come before the Fire Board?
yes, Mr. Chairman. A couple of things, as this is our last meeting of the year, it should be pointed out that some of the members of the boards will be changing at the end of the year. Jim, I will be emailing you just to be specific about what the township needs to appoint and make sure it's solidified. If you're appointing the same people, that's fine, but since it will have to be on the front cover, I just want to make sure all of our dates line up and everybody's aware of what. Michelle has informed me that she will not be seeking her seat again next year, so either way, the town will definitely have to do at least one new person. And I wanted to take the time to go ahead and point out that this is her last meeting with us, and to thank her for being with us for this time. I appreciate getting to know her.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Definitely appreciate your service. I had not heard that you were done, but thank you for your service to the community and the fire department over the years.
Thank you.
All the best wishes to you.
Thank you.
Any other business? All right, then I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made, second. All in favor signify by saying aye.